Have you ever found yourself replaying a single moment over and over in your mind? A happy memory, a sudden shock, or even a fleeting interaction that felt strangely significant. And then, other times, you can barely remember what you did yesterday. Why does this happen? What makes certain memories stick like glue, while others fade away like a dream? Today we're diving deep into the fascinating way your brain chooses what to keep and what to let go. This isn't just science, it's a journey through emotions, survival instincts, and the stories we tell ourselves. And by the end of this, you might see your own memories in an entirely new light. Let's begin with something simple. Imagine the happiest moment of your life. Was it a wedding, the birth of a child, maybe a victory you worked so hard for? Now, think of a moment that terrified you. A sudden car crash, a loud noise in the dark, or a time you felt in danger. These memories likely come to you instantly, almost like snapshots frozen in time. That's no coincidence. Emotional experiences are like VIPs to your brain. They get priority treatment. Here's why. Your brain has a small but powerful region called the amygdala. It acts like an alarm system, especially when emotions are involved. When something big happens, good or bad, the amygdala sends a signal to the hippocampus, the part of your brain responsible for memory. It's like saying, hey, this moment matters, don't forget it. Research from Nature Neuroscience shows that memories tied to emotions are much stronger than ordinary ones because, evolutionarily, remembering emotional events could mean survival. If our ancestors saw a lion near a certain watering hole, forgetting that experience could have been fatal. But emotions don't always tell the full story. Think about an embarrassing moment that haunts you to this day. Maybe you tripped in front of a crowd or said something awkward at a party. Even if no one else remembers it, your brain holds onto it tightly. Why? Because your amygdala goes into overdrive during emotionally intense events, even if they aren't life-threatening. This sometimes results in your brain giving undue importance to events that don't actually matter as much as they feel. Now let's look at flashbulb memories, those vivid, almost photographic recollections of significant events. Where were you during a big historical moment, like hearing about a global tragedy or a personal milestone? Psychologists call these flashbulb memories because they feel as clear as a photograph. But here's the surprising part, they're often inaccurate. Research from the University of California found that while people feel extremely confident about their flashbulb memories, the details tend to get distorted over time. It's like your brain is more concerned with the emotional weight of the moment than getting every fact right. On the other hand, why do we forget so much of our daily lives? Why can't you remember what you ate for breakfast last Monday? The answer lies in something called the forgetting curve. In the late 1800s, psychologist Hermann Ebbinghaus discovered that we lose about 50% of new information within an hour of learning it. If the brain decides you're not going to use this information, it simply discards it to make room for more important things. Your brain is like a crowded closet, it only keeps what's essential or meaningful. But here's the good news. You can improve what you remember by creating emotional or meaningful connections. In one study at Stanford University, participants remembered random lists of words far better when they created stories around them. For example, instead of just memorizing dog, car, tree, imagine a dog riding in a car that crashes into a tree. This activates multiple areas of the brain, making the memory stronger and easier to recall. Another key to memory is novelty. Your brain is wired to pay attention to things that stand out. Think about your firsts. Your first day of school, your first kiss, your first big trip. These moments feel larger than life because they were new and exciting. Neuroscientists at MIT found that novelty triggers the release of dopamine, a chemical that tells your brain, hey, this is worth remembering. This is also why time seems to fly by when your days are routine, but vacations feel so long in hindsight. They're packed with unique, memorable moments, but not all memories are stored the same way. Did you know that smell is one of the most powerful memory triggers? That's because your olfactory bulb, which processes smells, is directly connected to the hippocampus. Have you ever caught a whiff of a certain perfume or food and been instantly transported back to a specific moment? Research from the University of Toronto found that people were twice as likely to recall vivid memories when associated with familiar scents. So, the smell of cookies might remind you of your grandmother's kitchen, or a particular cologne might bring back memories of an old friend. Now let's talk about sleep, something most of us take for granted. While you sleep, your brain doesn't just rest. It works hard to process and store memories. Studies from Harvard Medical School have shown that people who sleep after learning something new are 40% more likely to retain that information. During REM sleep, your brain strengthens the connections between neurons, solidifying what you learned. Skimp on sleep, and you're basically hitting the delete button on your brain's storage system. Let's make this personal. Think of a moment that truly shaped who you are. Maybe it was a kind word from a teacher that gave you confidence or a tough experience that taught you resilience. These memories likely stand out because they're tied to your sense of identity. Research from the University of Queensland found that we're more likely to remember events that align with our self-image. So when you think, this is who I am, your brain prioritizes memories that support that narrative. But here's something fascinating. Your brain doesn't store memories like a perfect recording. Instead, every time you recall a memory, you're actually recreating it. This process, called memory reconsolidation, means that your memories can change over time. A study from Northwestern University found that memories shift by up to 20% every time they're recalled. So, the childhood story you've told 100 times, it might be more fiction than fact by now. So how can you take control of your memory? Start by making experiences more meaningful. Engage your emotions, seek out new adventures and get enough sleep. And here's a tip: practice gratitude. Research from UCLA shows that people who regularly reflect on things they're thankful for not only feel happier, but also remember positive moments more vividly. It's like training your brain to focus on the good. If you found this journey through your brain as fascinating as I did, don't keep it to yourself. Share this video with someone who loves learning about the mysteries of the mind. And if you want more videos that explore the secrets of life and the universe, subscribe to Universal Insights and hit the bell icon. Finally, we'd love to hear from you. What's one memory that you'll never forget, and why? Share your story in the comments below. Until next time, remember, your brain is the ultimate storyteller.